Okay. All right. Sound check. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Good deal.
Yes.
As others come in, we'll let them go in, Jess. My name is Marcia Ellison. I'm president of the NAACP Fort Lauderdale Broward branch. We are celebrating our 75th year. We were chartered February 11th, 1946. The national office, as you know, was founded February 12th, 1909. We are the last remaining Broward branch in Broward County. And so we have, for the last 20 years, have celebrated Black History Month and Founders Day and Charter Day with our tribute to our Black judges. We started out, we had 3, and we've come a little ways now. And so we're excited about that. But we recognize that there are 90 spots and we only have 11. We're looking to get more. We're about 30% of the population. I think we ought to have at least those seats, my personal opinion. And so with that, we're going to Reverend Brown. If you will open us up with prayer, please. You have, let's see, you're muted.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Pastor Henry, and we want to bow our heads in prayer at this time, if you will. Our Father, which art in heaven, we come today first to thank you for your grace and your mercy. We thank you because you have been good and you have been so kind to all of us. We thank you for your protection during this pandemic. You have kept us. For that, God, we tell you, thank you. Today we celebrate the NAACP Founders Day and Black History Month, and we reflect on those ancestors that prayed in the fields and near the rivers for this next generation. But God, we thank you because you answered their prayers that we will be free from the bondage of the evil one. We thank you for the NAACP for fighting for justice for all people. We thank you for answering the prayers of our ancestors that we can be whatever we dream of becoming in this country. We thank you for all of the organizations that are doing just what you had commanded us to do, and that is to serve our community and all mankind. We thank you for the Black judges who are ensuring justice for all. And we pray tonight, oh God, that this gathering, that this celebration, that this meeting will be one of inspiration, one of motivation as we receive the information. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. We are now going to move into lift every voice. Judge Powell, Judge Jackie Powell. Do we see her? Okay. Judge, unmute and you are on.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let all rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, and yet with a steady beat have not a weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where with white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, or God, where we met thee, and lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judge Jackie Powell. You are multi-talented. We are going to move to, we had for this special day, this is our 20th year that we've been doing this. And so I thought it fitting to get someone who really gets it. He is at the top of the NAACP, but always just a phone call and text away, even though sometimes he act like I know it can't be true, but he acts like he's tired of me because I've always got questions and always want his advice. But I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to hear from our leader, our chairman, Mr. Leon W. Russell. Mr. Russell.
Now, Marsha, I know you do not want me to answer what you just said. So I'll leave that alone for right now. I'll just let that lay.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening collectively your honors. It is, in fact, a great honor to have been asked to join you this evening. And I appreciate the fact that Marcia has done that. This has been Black History Month Day for me. I a couple of hours ago got off a Black History Month program with the Washington, D.C. District Field Office of the FBI and FBI headquarters talking about Black history. And so this is an appropriate follow-up to that, because what I talked about with them, quite frankly, was the history of the Justice Department's responsibility in the civil rights arena, and particularly its responsibility at its inception to protect the former slaves, newly declared citizens, from domestic terrorism at the hands of the Ku Klux Klan, and subsequently the creation in 1908 of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and in 1909 the NAACP. Those two things, I think, have a connection, and I wanted to lift that up in the subject of understanding why Black Lives Matter really is important in 2021. Now, I'm not going to go through the speech that I did for them. I want to just simply say that I am delighted to see this collection of judicial power. You might be 11 out of 90, but I know that you are particularly powerful, and it's a great statement that you have joined with the Broward County branch of the NAACP during this particular celebration. I want to lift up two of you and embarrass you, hopefully, particularly the last one I talk about. But I want to lift you up in terms of how I see your service from afar. The first is Judge Williams. It is important to me, and Judge Williams doesn't know me from Adam. He's met me one time, but I have observed him. And particularly his care for young Black people, our children. The service that he has put in Broward County, trying to deal with issues of young Black people in the judicial system, should be recognized, must be recognized, because he has done much to end particularly the school to prison pipeline, or at least slow down that inevitable march. And so I want to lift him up and say to you that he is an example of understanding the impact that this system can have on our future, and the need for us to reform where reform is necessary. So as those of you who are younger judges go through this process, I hope that you will look to him as an inspiration, and quite frankly, as a tutor, because I believe that he has all that it takes to be able to do that. Now, the other person that I want to lift up is Judge Holmes. Now, Judge Holmes really is a community person. I'm always amazed in her presence, because she is forthright. She does not mind speaking truth to power, and she doesn't care if she rattles the cage a little bit. I think that community spirit is something that we need from those who represent us in the judicial arena. I think we need to have people who will say to the powers that be, this is what needs to be done, but who will also reach back to our community and be there to support our communities and not be ashamed to tell folk in our communities that they need to get off of it. And she will say it more literally than I would. But I think it's important. It's important to have that voice come from the robe and from the bench. And so those two people to me are the people that I would hope that other folks who aspire to just judicial positions would actually at least see as role models and the path makers that they are. I will observe, now that I know everybody's name, see, I'll look you up. I will check you out and see what's going on. Judge Powell, you got to be the bravest judge, because anybody who sings all three stanzas of Lift Every Voice and Sing and does it as beautifully as you did, I mean, you get the prize this evening. You get the prize this evening. The judiciary has more responsibility than just passing judgment. You have a responsibility to ensure that there is equity and equality in the dispensation of justice. That's something that each of you in your individual courtrooms have a responsibility to ensure every time you take the bench. That's a heavy burden. I understand that when you raised your right hand and swore an oath, that you were sincere in doing that. From the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, I want to extend my personal thanks, but our organizational thanks on behalf of the 64 members of our board of directors, the 2,200 units across this nation. I just wish there were more of you. I hope this evening is a wonderful evening, and I look forward to this celebration. Thank you, Marcia, and thank you again, collectively, your honors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We appreciate you. I know that you're very busy, and he had about 5 other things to do, but it really was just a matter of a text. And he said, if I'm available, I absolutely do there, even if he had to move some stuff around. It was that important, and you all are that important, and as are we. So thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Next, we'll move into the introduction of the judges, and that will be done by our own, who is retired judge and our general counsel for our branch, the Judge Elona Holmes.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here and to do this great honor to introduce to you the 11 active circuit judges and county court judges, as well as the 3 retired judges, and then our 2 general magistrates. I will highlight this by saying Judge Wright, Zebedee Wright, could not be here tonight. He's not sick. He just could not join us tonight, and he misses us tremendously because you all know he loves this program. He loves being here amongst us, and so he's sort of like the dean of all of us, and so he sends his regrets. I'm going to start in the order of seniority. I'm just going to introduce you, and then I'll get to the questions where the public, the community, the viewers get to hear you speak. So why don't you start unmuting yourselves now so that when it's your time that there won't be any gaps. So hit the unmute, get used to that. All right, there you go. Yves is the little button there. Okay, there you go. All right, the first judge that I'm introducing tonight is the senior most Black circuit judge here in Broward County, and that's Judge Elijah H. Williams. He was appointed to the bench in 2002. The second most senior judge is Judge Kenneth L Gillespie. He was appointed to the bench and sworn in on January 20th, 2009, the same day as President Barack Obama. So I call him 44 and a half. The next judge with seniority is Judge Michael Robinson. Judge Robinson was appointed to the bench in 2010, and it's historic. It's because that's the evening that Judge Mary Rudd Robinson won her primary race, and the governor appointed him to the circuit bench the same evening. So they had double for their trouble. The next judge with seniority is Judge Keithan Frank. Judge Frank was appointed in 2016. The next judge is Judge Fabian Fanistock. I had to wait for her almost 20 years to be the second Black female circuit judge. She was appointed in 2017. The next judge is the judge that won my group by election, and that's Judge Stephanie Moon. She was elected in 2018. And then finally, the baby of the whole bunch is Judge George Odom. He was elected by all of us in 2020. So he is the brand new baby judge. And I got up early on a cold morning and went to Veterans Park to swear him in also. So it's an honor and a privilege. Those are our circuit judges. Now, I want to introduce to you our county court judges. The senior most county court judge is Judge Cal Evans. He was appointed to the bench in 2014. The next judge is Judge Florence Barner. Florence Taylor Barner, let me get it right. She was elected to the bench in 2016. The next judge is Judge Phoebe Rebecca Francois. She was appointed in 2018. And then last but not least, the judge who sang the Negro National Anthem, all three verses, is Judge Jackie Powell. She was elected to the bench in 2018. Those are our active judges, circuit and county. I now want to introduce our retired judges. As I said, Judge Zebedee Wright is not present with us, but he was appointed in 1982, becoming the first Black judge of any kind, county or circuit, to the bench. And so that is the kudos he got. I think he beat Judge Reddick by a couple months. I'm not sure, but that's what the newspapers say. So, and he mentioned that when we did Broward's first legal. So I'm just gonna give him those kudos. He's not here, so just tell him I said something good. He retired in 2003. The next ranking retired judge would be Judge Mary Rudd Robinson. She was appointed, matter of fact, before being appointed as a county court judge, she was a general magistrate from 1984 to 1989. And then in 1989, she was appointed to the county court bench. She retired in 2016. And then you all know who I am. I am Elona Holmes. I was actually a county court judge from 1995 to 1998. And then in 1998, I was appointed to the circuit court bench, and I retired from the bench in 2018. All right, our general magistrates, the senior most general magistrate is Magistrate Yves Laventure. He was appointed by Judge Peter Weinstein in 2016. And then the newest general magistrate is Magistrate Alana Robinson Woods. You know, the Robinsons got a monopoly on this judgeship stuff. You know, they're here in numbers, but she was appointed by Judge Jack Tudor, the chief judge, in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, those are our circuit, county, retired, and general magistrates. Now for the questions, y'all ready? Here we go. And please try not to take more than 2 minutes. And, you know, I'm going to be like we do in church. I'll just have them mute you, okay? And you'll just be mouthing. All right. When, you know, we're going to go in the order of seniority. And if you need me to remind you, that's why I gave you the list so that you'll know, so you don't have to have me keep interrupting. We're going to go in seniority. So do you all remember who you followed? If not, I'm here for you. All right, we're going to start with Judge Elijah Williams. Judge, if you'll tell our viewers your name, your division assignment, how long you've been on the bench, what was your practice, or what did you do before taking the bench, and what motivates you or inspires you to get up every morning and do what you do. Take it away, Judge Williams.
I will say this, Mr. Russell, I'm going to say this, and you're going to take it the wrong way, but I'm going to say it. I have been in the presence of generals who control nuclear weapons. I was a military officer, I was a captain. I've been in the presence of my cousin, Congressman John Lewis. I've served many powerful men and women as legal counsel, but nobody humbles me and scares me than when I'm in your presence. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's something about you. I will just say this to all of my fellow judges. Research Leon Russell's name. Do the research. You will spend hours reading about this guy. Mr. Russell, when I saw you were going to be here, I got nervous. I apologize, but you make me nervous. All righty. I will go ahead and say this, but thank you for all you do for our people. It's uncompromising and it never stops. I'm going to keep it short. I've been a judge now for the past 19 years. I'm a circuit court judge. I spent 4.5 years in adult felony, and I spent the last 14.5 years in juvenile delinquency. I was born and raised in Dixie Court Projects. It's about 4.5 blocks northeast of the Fort Lauderdale Police Station. I attended Walker Elementary School, Broward Estates, Parkway Middle School, and South Plantation High School. Went to the University of Florida, left there in '83 with a bachelor's, master's, and law degree. Then I joined the Air Force, was a captain, stationed 2 years in Denver, 4 years in London. It's real straight.
30 seconds, Judge, 30 seconds. Get to the point. What motivates you?
I'm going to get to the point. The point I'm going to make is that what inspired me to do what I do, Leon Russell, Mr. Russell, I studied your history, as well as Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. It's guys like you who keep me doing what I do. So I want to thank you for inspiring me, Mr. Russell.
All right, thank you, Judge Williams. You know, I love Mr. Russell too, but I'm not going to spend my 2 minutes telling him how much I love him. I'm going to send him a card and a gift card. All right, our next judge, Judge Gillespie, take it away.
Judge, thank you, Judge Holmes. First of all, I am so thrilled, Marcia, that Madam President, that I was able to get this, my name corrected. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Judge Gillespie. I am currently assigned to the probate division. For those who don't know much about probate, it is the court supervised process for gathering assets and liabilities and dispersing those assets and liabilities to your loved ones. Just this January marked the beginning of my 13th year as a circuit court judge. And let me just say this to you, Madam President, I want to thank you for not breaking with tradition and working around this pandemic. It's always a humbling experience to be honored, and I do thank you for that. And let me just say this, to spend just my minute and 30 seconds talking about your commitment to have this program. Even as we face this grievance of challenges surrounding this brutal pandemic, it dawned on me that in the history of our planet, human beings across this nation have gotten together, and through their combined scientific knowledge and their imaginations, through their thirst for knowledge to understand this deadly virus, every step up the ladder of science, every adventurous reach into the world of epidemiology, they've gotten together, and through warp speed, what they've done, they've developed a vaccine to prevent our very extinction. To me, that's mind-blowing. And just for you to just put this program on around this pandemic. And I was wondering to myself that even as we face this pandemic, if we can just bottle it up for a moment and borrow from the scientific platform and the speed in which to apply this to other areas of society, we'll be much better off. But through our chaos and through our uncertainty that is our history, through what we've all gone through this year, there is one thing, though, that when we go through this, it nourishes our souls, and that is to lift us up as a species above its origins, and that is our ability to get back up, to stand, and we are still standing. And for that, I appreciate you working around COVID and making this happen, and you serve as that example. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Gillespie. Our next judge, Judge Robinson, Michael Robinson.
Judge Holmes, how much time do I really have?
You have 2 minutes, sir. And you're on the clock.
Master Russell, thank you for coming. Madam President, love you. Thank you for doing what you always do. It wouldn't be an NAACP without you and without Mr. Russell. Thank you for coming to South Florida. God basically opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Also, getting to what I think Judge Williams alluded to. Blessed are they who maintain justice, who constantly do what is right. And that's what motivated me, because I went to all Black schools, Lincoln Park Elementary School, Sunland Park Elementary School, Everglades Junior High School, which is now William Dandy Middle, and the only high school that really ever existed in Broward County, Dillard High School. I'm a graduate of the last all Black class. Then I went to Fisk University, where of course I learned about Alcee Hastings and John Lewis and W.E.B. Du Bois. I sat with a number of historical figures. So I learned about my history and what I wanted to do, but it was Thurgood Marshall, my good alpha brother, that basically inspired me to become a judge.
Judge.
Okay, thank you. Love y'all. I am in the Civil Division, been there for 4 years now. I was in the Criminal Division for 7 years. I served also in the Family Division. It's a pleasure, for it is a calling. It is not a job, it is a calling. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Our next judge, Judge Frank.
Good evening. My name is Judge Keithan Frank. I am from Melbourne, Florida. I attended Florida State University, where I obtained my bachelor's degree in criminology. I then went to University of Florida for law school. And after law school, I worked as a public defender and in the Office of Criminal Conflict and Civil Regional Counsel, defending indigent persons accused of criminal crimes. I then, while there, I had the pleasure to try a few cases before Judge Holmes, Judge Williams, and Judge Gillespie. I've learned a lot from these judges, more from Judge Holmes, and I learned to do what I'm told. So I'm going to do that and stick to the script. I worked in civil law firm. I did civil law prior to getting on the bench in 2016, and I served in the family division for about 1.5 years. And I now serve in the civil division where I hear lawsuits. What inspires me is my family, my ancestors, and the community. What also inspires me is to do justice, as we've seen injustice done upon our people throughout the entirety of this nation and this country. I hope to do my part to help correct this country and its wrongs, and to help this country live up to its aims and goals as it sets forth in our U.S. Constitution. How am I doing, Judge Holmes?
You got 4 seconds.
Thank you all. Thank you, Madam President.
There you go.
Russell.
Time. I love it. I know y'all miss Gordon so bad because he let y'all ram on, but we're on a time schedule and people are sitting in their living rooms and laying in their sofas and they just want to get this over with. So thank you. Our next judge, Judge Fanistock. How you doing? Take it away.
I miss you, Judge Holmes. It's good to see you. First, I want to thank Madam President, Mr. Russell, and Judge Holmes. Thank you so much. As Judge Gillespie said, it's so nice that we were able to do this. And it's amazing. I'm looking, we've got 203 participants so far. So that is a beautiful thing. So my name is Fabian Fanistock. I grew up here in Broward County. I'm a local girl. I went to Piper High School, University of Miami for undergrad, and then law school at UF. Then I came back. I clerked at the 4th DCA with Judge Gary Farmer, and then I went into private practice. I was appointed, I got the phone call to be a judge on February 14th, 2017. So that was a very special Valentine's Day. It's a day I will never forget. My husband also doesn't forget it because it's the day he cooked a beautiful dinner and we never got to enjoy it because everybody came over and the phone calls were going on. And, this was a magical thing. So every year we celebrate now our love and my love for this job. I'm gonna, like Judge Frank, I'm gonna keep it short. Where am I now? For the past 4 years since I've been a judge, I've been assigned to the family division. I'm currently the chair for the division, where I hear anything from domestic relations, divorce, child support, paternity actions. I also have a small complex business division where I hear just business disputes. I love my job. I love my job every day. Even at the end of the day, when I'm pulling my hair out because I'm completely zoomed out, I love my job. And if you look at some of my more senior male colleagues, you know, they pull their hair outs too, but
You got 30 seconds, Judge.
they can pull it off. But what truly inspires me, when I was a young student, when I was in law school and I was meeting all of the first, you know, the first female Black judge in Broward County, the first female, you know, justice of the Supreme Court, all of the first, I thought to myself, my gosh, I can never accomplish what they did. I can never bring myself to do as much good as they have. And honestly, I said to myself, stop making excuses and follow on the path that they have blazed for me and just try and do as good as I can. So thank you to my colleagues for inspiring me.
Thank you. Our next judge, Judge Stephanie Moon, a good Delta woman.
I'm going to try and behave. Thank you, Judge Holmes. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Madam President, thank you. Mr. Russell, it is an honor. I am Stephanie Camille Moon, Circuit Court Judge, and I did run for the seat held prior by Judge Elona Holmes. It was an honor to do that. And I don't imagine that many of us would be here without her help and influence, and more importantly, prayer. I am a 5th generation native of Palm Beach County. I attended private schools there and then went to Loyola University in New Orleans for undergrad. I am a proud graduate of Southern University Law Center, HBCU, from 1994. I returned home here in South Florida in 1996, started at the state attorney's office, then went to the Attorney General's Office of Statewide Prosecution and the U.S. Attorney's Office, also following in Judge Holmes' footsteps by joining that office for a number of years. I then worked in private practice for a boutique business litigation firm here locally, and I ran my own business. I had my own practice for nearly 7 years before I ran for my seat on the bench. I won election by more than 66% of the vote in 2018. My fellow road dog, Jackie Powell, we made it through.
30 seconds, Judge, 30 seconds.
I began my commission in January of 19. I am seated in the civil division handling domestic violence injunctions. And what inspires me every single day is to remember that what we do impacts our community. How we do it, the fact that we are there doing it, that inspires me. Thank you.
She did it. You have a second if you want to. There you go. You used it. All right, the new kid on the block, Judge George Odom.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, Madam President, Judge Holmes, thank you all for what you've done, and all the other wonderful women and gentlemen that are on this call today to help me get elected. 50, give or take, I've been on the bench for 50 days now, 50 days. My name is George Odom Jr. Most of you probably was tired of seeing my picture last year. I'm one of your circuit court judges here in the Unified Family Division. I ran a practice with my partner, Dixon and Odom. We practice family, civil, and criminal litigation. I'm going to keep it simple. To whom much is given, much is required. I've been brought a mighty long way. And if you so have a talent, if you so have knowledge, and you have the time, then I believe that as those that came before me, I must labor and sacrifice in order to not only depend on the history in the past, but to make new history in the future. And so with that, I thank you all for your support. I labor before you, and I'm humbled to be before these magnificent judges that have been on the bench much longer than I, and I just look forward to learning and continuing to serve. Thank you.
Where are you assigned, Judge Odom?
Unified Family Division, okay. Family law.
All right, thank you. You know, Mr. Russell, it is hard. I don't know how you get everybody in the NAACP to follow directions, but it is hard. It's like herding sheep, you know. All right, let's see if my fellow colleagues from the county court bench will do better. Senior most county court judge in Broward County. How you like that title? Cal Evans.
All
right. Yeah. We say senior, we don't say old.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Well, good evening, and thank you to Mr. Russell, Madam President, Judge Holmes, and everyone on this Zoom call. Just here to support all of us. What inspired me initially to seek this office, 10 people. Of the 10, I'm the only one who is alive, made it past the age of 18, and did not go to prison. So those who did not make it are what inspired me, hearing their stories going in and out of court, what they did not see in the system. Their comments pushed me. That was my initial motivation. And I started working on this since I was in grade school. In high school, I was doing legal internships. College, I was doing it when everyone else was on spring break. And I tried six non-jury trials and jury trials as well when I was an intern. One before Judge Mary Robinson, she doesn't remember that one. But when I got to be in front of Judge Holmes, Judge Williams, Judge Gillespie, all of you inspired me and let me know that I could do this. Not just that it was a dream that I had as a child, but that I could actually do it. Seeing you on the bench was a magnificent thing. I've been serving in the county criminal division since 2014, September of 2014, and that's the People's Court. And it's important for me to be there because, quite honestly, so many people do not see themselves reflected on the bench. And I am the only person in the criminal division right now who solely has a criminal division where I can send someone to incarceration. So I think it's extremely important that I am there and that they see themselves reflected on the bench. Every day that I wake up, I know this is a blessing. And I thank God for this every day. And I'm proud to represent the 17th Judicial Circuit, but I'm proud to represent the NAACP. And the NAACP got me into college, and I don't forget that. That letter is still in the archives, Madam President has informed me. But I couldn't have afforded to get to college without that scholarship. So thank you.
You have 30 seconds, Judge.
All I want to say from this point forward is every person who's on this Zoom, who preceded me on the bench, thank you for inspiring me. Everyone who believed in me from childhood on, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for inspiring me. And for those who came after me, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Our next judge, I guess senior most female Black judge on the county court bench. Y'all look up to her. Okay. Judge Florence Taylor Barner.
Thank you, Judge Holmes. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Russell. It is a privilege and an honor to be here. I sit in the County Civil Division at the main courthouse in Fort Lauderdale. I also serve in Florida's first and only community court, which is a court that is geared solely towards helping the lesser of our brothers, honestly. It is those who are at large or at homeless. And I love what I do in those divisions. I've been on the bench since my election in 2016, which was pretty historic. I would say that I became the first Haitian American woman in the history of Florida to be elected to the bench. And that was not going to be possible if it wasn't for all these other judges who came before me, particularly watching Judge Holmes, watching Judge Robinson, Mrs. Judge Robinson, because those are the judges that I practiced in front of. And I learned a tremendous amount from them, particularly just what it means to really give of yourself and be part of the community in which you serve. It is important that you remember you live here, you raise your families here, you don't just work here. And so I think that is something that I've taken with me on the bench, and I love what I do. And I should tell you, I graduated from North Miami Beach Senior High School. I'm a Miami girl, but I am a Broward girl right now. So thank you very much for everything that you all have done for me. I look forward to continuing in my capacity to serve and honor this community. Thank you.
You actually have 10 seconds.
Oh, go Gators.
You know what? Mr. President, I'm gonna stop telling people they got how much time, because they think they gotta fill all the time. All right, thank you. I don't know about that Gator stuff, but our next judge is Judge Phoebe Rebecca Francois. Good evening, Judge Francois.
Good evening. Hi, Judge Holmes. It's so great to see you. It's been a long time. Thank you, Madam President, for having this event despite the challenges of the pandemic. I like to say good evening to all of my colleagues. I feel as if I never see any of you. Thank you, President Russell, for being here, and to all of you. My name is Phoebe Francois. I have been a county court judge since June of 2018. I was appointed because of my colleagues on the bench, especially Judge Holmes, Judge Williams, and Judge Gillespie, who really helped pave the way for me. And I also want to thank Marsha Ellison and the NAACP, because I wouldn't be here without them in reference to my appointment. I'm currently assigned to the West Satellite Courthouse in Plantation, and I preside over landlord-tenant cases, condo foreclosures, small claims, civil, criminal, as well as traffic infractions. I do what I do because I love our community and I want to give back and make a difference. But as far as inspiration, I just want to mention the election last year. Last year, I had to run during a pandemic. And what I thought was going to be a challenge ended up being a blessing. It was truly a blessing because of support of people like all of you who are on this Zoom, who are listening in from everywhere. I knew people that I knew helped me, people that I didn't know helped me. You all made it an amazing and inspiring experience because of your votes. You made a powerful statement, giving me more votes than any other candidate on the ballot during the primaries. So I humbly thank all of you, each of you, for your vote and for your support. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. And I also want to say thank you to my sorors for sending me flowers. They were beautiful. Thank you so much.
We ain't going there yet. Stop.
I just want to say thank you.
Last but not least,
thank you, mood.
Your time is up, Judge Francois. Last but not least, our songbird, Judge Jackie Powell. Good evening.
Russell, to our president, Ms. Ellison, to Judge Holmes, to all my fellow judges and everyone else who's listening this evening. I am so honored and grateful to be here. My name is Judge Jackie Powell, and I am currently a county court judge in the civil division. I was elected in 2018, took the bench in 2019. My first year on the bench, I was the first appearance judge, and I did that for a year. Last year, I was a county court judge at the South Satellite Courthouse, where I handled civil, criminal, traffic infraction. And then this year, I've been brought back to the Central Courthouse to handle a new division. It's a new civil division that handles small claims, consumer debt, credit card cases. And I am really humbled to be there because this is a position that gives me an opportunity to help as many people and to explain and to help people to understand and to navigate through the civil circuit on the county court bench. And so I am truly grateful to be here. What inspires me, I remembered, well, when I started, I graduated from high school in New York. Don't hate me. I went to Andrew Jackson High School, graduated from high school there. And then I graduated from FAU with an English literature degree, and then went to Nova Southeastern University.
30 seconds, Judge, 30 seconds.
For my law degree. Judge Mary Rudd Robinson, when I started, was still on the bench, and I had the opportunity to practice in front of her. And she was a great inspiration. I don't think I've ever told her this, seeing a Black woman on the bench, that was a great inspiration. And also I work with a lot of young people, and they inspire me all the time, because if I'm encouraging them to go forward, I've got to do the same thing. So I'm truly grateful for this job. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Judge Powell. Now we're going to hear Judge Michael Robinson. Turn the mic back on. Judge Mary Rudd Robinson is about to speak to us. Judge, your questions are a little bit different, other than your name. Tell us how long you were on the bench and what you did before taking the bench, and what are you doing now? What keeps you inspired? Take it away, Judge Robinson.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say hello to the NAACP, the Fort Lauderdale chapter, and the NAACP in general, because I've been a member of working with the NAACP since I was born. My parents were members of the NAACP in North Carolina. They worked during the, I call it the change, the cusp, the change, the bus boycotts, all those things, pushing people to the polls, and they had me out there pushing people to the polls. And so I do thank you, NAACP. I was on the bench, well, I was in a judicial, quasi-judicial position from 1985 until the December of 2016. I was the first Black general magistrate in the county and the first Black female judge in the county. What inspired me is history. I grew up with it. I grew up with the change. I saw it. I can tell you about it sometimes, but when you live it, it's just totally different. I lived it, I saw it. And so the history, our history is what inspires me. And I'm still doing that, pushing history in my retirement. And I think history, our history should be a part of everything we do. So I'm pushing organizations that when they are doing their fundraisers, their charity work, their whatever, that they make history, our history, a part of it, so that our young people, and not just high schoolers, can learn and understand what it took for us to get here. So I'm very passionate about that. I'm still doing that. And I have my many organizations. I'm a caregiver now. My 90-year-old, almost 91-year-old mother is living with us. So I do that. And it just, all those things just keep me busy.
You have 10 seconds if you want to fill it up.
I'm an AKA.
Oh, Jesus.
You're a mom.
You know, Mr. Russell, I'm going to learn a lesson. You know what? Sometimes they say if you keep trying, it'll change. But you know what? That I feel like insanity. Every time I tell somebody you got 10 seconds, they say something like Gator or AKA or something like that. Okay, so so I'm going to move on. I'll save myself for last. I do want to get the general magistrates in. So we'll start with Magistrate Eve Aventura. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, and thank you all for having me. Thank you, Mr. Russell, Madam President, Judge Holmes. You know, it's nice to see a group of people again, considering everything that's going on, and I commend the NAACP for being able to get this going in these times. My name is Yves Laventure. I sit currently as a general magistrate in the probate division. I actually work kind of under Judge Gillespie as one of the 3 judges in probate. I deal with Baker Act mental health issues, substance abuse issues, along with guardianship issues. And I've been in my position for about 5 years now. Before my current position, I was a prosecutor for about 12.5 years. I last was in the homicide division, and my last case to trial was actually in front of the Honorable Judge Elona Holmes. What inspires me is I can't minimize this. Everybody who is on this panel, all of the judges and magistrates, I think of all but 2, and that would be Judge Fanistock and Magistrate Alana Robinson Woods, I've either been in front of, worked with, worked against. And when you see that, you can't help but want to do better. You know, I come from a family, I was the first American born. So my father went to med school at the age of 40. My mom worked nights to make sure that my sister and I was taken care of. You don't come from that and decide that you're not going to work. You don't see the people who I work alongside with now or worked against before and not continue to push and drive. So what helps me get up is the examples that have been in front of me. Additionally, working in the probate division, you see people who have been taken advantage of. You see people with legitimate problems and issues. Not that other problems are not legitimate, but whether it's substance abuse or mental health issues.
30
And you
seconds,
cannot,
30 seconds, general magistrate.
thank you. And you cannot help but want to get up and do right and make sure that justice is served appropriately so that people can get the help that they need. Because if they don't get it via the courts, a lot of them fall victim to fraud and other things. So that's what helps me get up in the morning. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this event once again. Thank you all.
Thank you. Last but not least, Magistrate Alana Robinson Woods, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Elena Robinson Woods. I currently sit as a general magistrate in the family division. I've practiced criminal defense as a Miami-Dade public defender, construction defect, product liability, premises liability, governmental law. I practiced the whole gamut, except for where I currently sit, family law. So it's been an interesting journey with my legal practice. What inspires me is my family and my friends and my beautiful Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sisters who I know are here tonight and representing. My whole life I've grown up surrounded by beautiful, great, amazing Black men and women. People like my parents, Judges Robinson, Judge Holmes, Judge Carol Taylor, Attorney George Allen, Attorney Raleigh Rawls, and the list goes on. So I was constantly motivated and inspired on a daily basis to do and be my best. And so I try to bring that every day to my job. I love my job. I was telling Judge Fanistock that I've been at home in my Zoom courtroom longer than I've been in my regular courtroom because I started last year. So I'm really loving my job right now. And so again, I thank you. And anytime I have left, I will yield to Judge Holmes.
Thank you so much. Before I begin, there's a question in the chat. Why is Judge Gillespie looking so mean? I don't know, Judge, you all right over there? Somebody thinks you want to say hello, Clarice.
I'm sorry, Judge. I know my manners, so I'm just making sure I'm in place.
Okay. Can you smile at the people?
Well, hey,
they don't know if you come and do the screen at them or not.
I'm doing just fine.
Okay. My name is Elona Holmes, but you already know that. I was a circuit judge before I retired. I came to the bench from the United States Attorney's Office. I was an assistant United States attorney. I practiced in just about every division in the court, whether I was assigned there or not. I did traffic tickets when I wanted to, parental terminations, but my love and passion is criminal law. Matter of fact, I've been recognized as an expert in criminal law. And so I loved trying murder cases. And so when I left the bench, I know I left it in good hands. Since leaving the bench, I've been doing everything. I've been everywhere on Zoom. I've been teaching for the National Judicial College. I've just became the chair of the faculty council for the National Judicial College. So I just kind of help determine who's going to be teaching, and I want them to look like us when they're teaching for the National Judicial College. I have been assisting with the NAACP, criminal justice chair, general counsel, whatever President Marsha Ellison asked me to do, I'm gonna do it. You know why? Because she helps Black judges. She helps us and keeps us on this bench. I'm so proud to be a life member of the NAACP. Chairman Russell, thank you so much for your kind words and compliments. Madam President, I will never forget you. You're constantly in my prayers, as all of you. How's that for my 2 minutes? All right. Now, we're going to do a lightning round. So keep all of your mics on. Keep your mics on. We're going to do a quick lightning round. My time is almost up, but I think I'm making good time. So Madam President, I'm going to do the lightning round and then the final question. The question that in the lightning round for all the judges, and I don't care who chimes in first, tell the audience one thing about you that they may not know. It has to be an interesting thing about you that they may not know. Who wants to go first? I'll go first. Turn your mics on.
You're on.
I play the violin. Okay, I was in the orchestra in high school and in middle school, and I'm a violinist. So don't ask me to play now because I get my nails done. Okay, next. Who's next?
I'm an amateur boxing photographer.
Oh, look at that. Okay, next.
I dug graves at the cemetery at 4th and State Road 84, that big cemetery. I can square you up.
So when I call you a grave digger, you know, okay.
What? What you call me? What you call me?
A grave digger. Oh my gracious. All right, who's next?
That's all right.
Something interesting.
I'll jump in. Oh, well, I don't think anybody knows this, but I actually watch the Food Network and I actually cook everything that I see, all the different recipes, and I make my family be the guinea pigs and try it.
Do you watch Delicious Miss Brown?
I do. I do.
I'm trying to get her to tell the story. I'm trying to get her down here. Okay, I'll keep y'all posted. All right. Who's next? What do you, what?
Well, okay, I had a
I
very.
guess-
Okay,
Go
tell me
ahead,
quick.
Jackie.
Tell me quick, Judge. Tell me quick.
I guess my secret is out, that I can sing a little bit. I've been singing in choirs for a long time. And just one really funny thing, like my oldest child is a girl, and when I was pregnant with her, I was to be the lead singer on a song when I was very, very pregnant. And we practiced all Saturday night for Sunday morning. And then Sunday morning I woke up and this child was ready to come and there was no lead singer for the song.
Very interesting. All right, who haven't they got? Magistrate?
I got one.
All right, real quick. What you got?
It was really important to me because the man behind me right now in this picture is my father, my late father. And he taught at Dillard between Everglades and Dillard for his whole career. And I got to teach a class at Dillard recently. And that was one of the biggest things that made my whole family proud because Dillard meant so much to my father. And for me to be able to sit and stand in his shoes really meant a lot to me.
So you taught, okay. What'd you teach? What'd you teach?
I taught a group of elementary schools. Well, actually, the sixth grade, so they sit in high school.
You taught. I wanted to know what you taught.
About picking your future. And the thing is, I thought that was important because you know what? I was told we can't do this. I was told to rewrite my essay when I said I wanted to be a judge. So I told those kids they can do what they want to do. I told them reverse of what I was told when I was a student. And I was really happy to be able to do that.
I hear you, Judge. All right, Judge Barner, what do you do? Did you tell me the photography? Okay, yeah. Who did I miss? Who am I missing? Judge Mary Rod Robinson.
Yes, I worked myself through law school, and one of the jobs I had was an aftercare for 4 hours every day, and I had 27 second graders, and 25 of them were boys.
Ah, look at you! All right, teaching men. Judge Elijah Williams. What's the interesting thing that folks don't know?
My name was actually mentioned in the O.J. Simpson case back in 1995. I did not do the killings, but what happened was I wrote the first article written by a lawyer about DNA fingerprinting, how to use DNA in a criminal case and the use of it. And in the middle of the preliminary hearings, they asked the detective, when did y'all start learning about DNA? He said, when we read an article by an Air Force captain named Elijah Williams, that put me in the stratosphere. I became famous that day. But I gotta tell you this, Holmes, when I saw it on TV, Judge Holmes, I was in the laundromat. So I started jumping up and down when I heard my name, and the lady next to me said, I don't care about your name being on TV. Get your clothes out the dryer so I can get mine in. That's my...
Judge Moon, what's something we don't know about you?
I always wanted to own a flower shop. I love flowers and I grow orchids.
I like that flower. All right, Judge Frank, tell us something. What don't we know about you? I'm gonna save you for last, Judge Gillespie, because I know a lot about you. So if you don't tell him, I'm gonna make it up.
Okay. I don't know if you can tell, but my name is kind of made up. My daddy made up my name. It was between this and his first choice for my name was Roach.
So from now on, when y'all see him coming, say Roach.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Judge Odom, what don't we know about you?
I got nothing, Judge.
Don't make me make up something.
I tried. I thought about it all last night. I got nothing.
You ain't got no skills. You ran for judge. You gotta have something.
I can talk a lot.
Can you do something?
You talk a lot.
That's it. That's all I got.
No, my goodness. All right, Judge Gillespie.
Hey,
Madam, we don't know about you.
Madam President Marcia Ellison, this is a true story. Only Judge Holmes and I think Judge William knows this. What got me to South Florida was that I was recruited to fly planes. I was going to be an airline pilot. That's what got me to South Florida. I walked onto the campus of Florida Memorial, and the first woman I laid eyes on, I married her. And here's how I got her. I walked up to her and I said, "You must be from Tennessee." And she said, "No, I'm from Florida. Why do you ask?" I said, "Because a 10 is all I see." That woman is in the next room right now. I've been married to her for 25 years. Honey, I hope you hear me. I'm talking about you.
When
And
y'all
that's a
say
true
your
story.
prayers tonight,
Marcia,
y'all pray for
President
Kim
Ellison, President
Gillespie.
Ellison, that is a true story.
A 10 is all I see. Okay. Man, that's so corny.
Judge, it worked. It worked.
All right. I didn't leave anybody out, did I?
Judge Fanistock.
Okay, Judge Fanistock, tell me something we don't know about you. I will make it up if you don't tell us.
Well, I don't have a cool name like Roach over there, but my story is probably just, it's kind of boring, but when I grew up in elementary school, you know, I came from a very, very, very religious family. We did the rosary every single night. And my first profession that I really wanted to be when I grew up was a nun. And that didn't work out because we learned pretty quickly that I couldn't live sin-free. So here I am.
All right, Sister Fabian.
That's it.
All right, we're gonna leave on a very serious note, okay? But I gotta get you to keep it under a minute. I know I'm rushing through, but it's hard for people to sit through Zoom. And if you're like me, I'm on Zoom 4 or 5 times a day. So, you know, I'm kind of zoomed out. But I want our viewers to hear the struggles that you've encountered being a Black judge. Okay, now don't tell us the whole story. Save some for next time. But what struggles have you encountered and you feel it's just because you're a Black judge? Judge Odom, you're brand new. Let's start with you.
I knew that was coming. So, you know, like you said, Judge, I'm fairly brand new. So to what have encountered hasn't been, I should say, significant in comparison to what those before me, I'm sure, have encountered. It's probably would be more, to be quite candid and honest, on the road to the bench versus once I got there. Quite frankly, some folks just didn't feel like I should be running for different reasons. You know, you have to live by your own, you have to live by higher standards. So I ran and I took a lot of heat from it while running from a lot of folks, Black and white. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it's about service. It's about doing what's right by the people. And, you know, I'm sure that every smile that I see is not a quote unquote friend. However, I don't let that deter me. I continue to move forward because I always think about it like this now in here. For those like you, Judge Holmes and Judge Reddick and Al C and Judge Mary Red Robinson, Mike Robinson Gillespie, what you all had to go through, the little things I go through is peanuts in comparison, especially during the times. And so I take it all in stride and I smile and continue to move forward.
All right. Judge, let's see, Frank, what struggles have you encountered any? And if it's none, that's fine. God has just blessed you. But if you got some, let the public know what we go through just being Black judges.
I think, you know, one of the challenges, I think, you know, I've seen, I'm sure my colleagues have seen it too, including you, Judge Holmes. Matter of fact, I know I've seen, you've had to endure this, probably more so than some of our male colleagues, is the questioning of intelligence and ability to understand the issues that have come before us. I think that's something that faces us more so than our other colleagues. But I will say again, I think that is something, as well as some other challenges that Judge Holmes, you faced, Judge Moon, Judge Fanistock, some of our Black women colleagues have faced certainly more. So that's what I've experienced.
Judge King Gillespie. If you see the pattern, I'm going the road by road, so I'm coming to you soon. All right, Judge Gillespie.
Mr. Russell, can you hear? Okay, Mr. Russell, if you notice that one of the things I didn't do when Judge Holmes asked me initially to talk about what inspired me and talk about our how we got to the bench. If you walk into my office, and I think Judge Holmes and all the judges can attest to this, I don't have a degree on the wall. I don't have one degree on the wall. I don't have one award on the wall. I do have President Marshall Ellison's plaque. I do have them right there on my desk. And I do it for a reason, because when I was raised, my father always told me, he said, son, let me tell you something, never get too big for your britches. All right. Never get too big for yourself. If you're not trying to serve somebody, if you're not in it for someone else, then we have something to talk about. I think Judge Frank hit it on the nail on the head. We all communicate. And one of the things that Judge Frank, or Judge Robinson, Judge Williams, they will tell you, I think the biggest challenge to being an African-American judge is what Judge Frank talked about. And that is one of being our intellect being called into question. I'm probably the first Black probate judge in the history of Broward County. The history of Broward County, the first African-American probate judge in the history of Broward County. Why is that? Why is that? I can't answer that, but I can tell you one of the things that Judge Holmes, and I practice in front of Judge Holmes, and one of the things Judge Holmes shared with me, and she said, look, I don't expect you to agree with me, but I do expect you to be prepared, and I do expect you to know the law. And whenever you walk into a courtroom, you need to do that. You talked a little bit about Judge Williams. I kid with Judge Williams all the time. I don't think I would have this job at this point if he didn't mentor me from a very, very early age. And one of the things he talked about, when you step out in the public and you're giving a speech, you better be prepared. And Judge Holmes shared that with me as an African-American judge. When you step into that courtroom, and particularly on the circuit court and even the county court level, when you're dealing with the high complex cases, when you're dealing with the multi-million-dollar cases, and Judge Frank Robinson in the civil arena, they handle the multi-million-dollar cases, you better know what you're doing. And we owe it to us, because everything that I do and how I project, and if I'm prepared, if I know the law, it reflects on every other African-American judge. And so do they. And what they do in their courtrooms reflect upon me. So it's incumbent, if we take anything away from this, our challenge is that when we come, that we need to come with our A game.
Judge Michael Robinson, what struggles have you encountered?
Plenty, too many to cover tonight.
What's your best one?
When I came through as a lawyer, Mr. Russell, I was sitting second chair, and 3 white judges in Broward County identified me as the defendant. 3, and I won't name them, but they're dead now. God has a way of dealing with evil and ignorance. One of the things that we all have to deal with is the test. And that test is not only, again, doing our job well, being prepared, being prompt, telling them what time they have to be here, and being prepared. We have to read millions of pages in a year, millions, in civil, tobacco cases, you name it, documents come in. And yet, even though we're prepared, and yet, after we make the right decisions, they still question our intelligence. And that's the test. Because I've been told, Judge Holmes, that Black folk need to go back to Africa. And I've told those white folk that told me that, y'all need to go back to Africa, and your mama, because all of us came from Africa.
Woo! Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. All right, Judge Mary Robinson, you're strong. And I gotta keep us going. I gotta keep us going, because
I agree with Judge Frank and the other Judge Robinson. When I started practicing in Broward County, you saw me. Really, there was maybe one other female attorney, and she wasn't in court all the time. I worked for legal aid. I was a family law attorney, only one they had. I was in court every day, all day. And it was me, just me, female attorney, nobody else. I had to project for us, because they think, oh, you don't know. You had to know your stuff. Even when I got into the magistrate court, that one judge told me, he said, well, you're not going to get this position. If you want to leave legal aid, I'll help you go to a law firm. That's it.
Ooh, all right. Judge Stephanie Moon.
One of the challenges I faced as being a Black judge goes hand in hand with what's already been discussed, but I have encountered white male attorneys who will challenge my authority in the courtroom. They will interrupt me. They will be disrespectful toward me. They will make it clear to me that they intend to appeal my ruling. And what I have found more so than anything else, quite frankly, is the example set by you, Judge Holmes. I don't need to raise my voice. I don't need to get upset. I don't need to say anything inappropriate. I earned the right to wear this robe. I earned the right to make the ruling that I intend to make, that I believe is appropriate under the law. And so I keep a hold of my emotions, and I remember who I am, whose I am, and where I am, and I handle my business.
Yes, sir. Judge Williams, what struggles?
I will say this, if you ever hang around a bunch of lawyers, one of the first things you'll learn is that no lawyer wants to appear in front of a judge who is dumber than him. Every lawyer expects the judge to have a superior knowledge of the law, the facts, and the circumstances. So I think the challenge for me is that we have to all be like Tom Brady every day. There is no off season for us. Every day when I get up out that bed, walk into that courtroom, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, I've got to be the best, most knowledgeable in that courtroom, but also remain very humble in order to do the job very effective. It's just a day in, day out drudgery of being a judge and having to always be prepared. We don't have the luxury like some to not be prepared, to not know what's going on. We don't have that luxury.
All right, Judge Fanistock. Got to turn your mic on. Okay. All right, judges, turn your mics on because I'm coming to you, and that I'm over time, and Madam President hasn't wrapped me up yet, but you know she's gonna cut my mic soon. Okay, Judge Fanistock.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'm not going to repeat everything because I think my colleagues are summing it up and you see a theme reoccurring here, but let me give you a little bit of inspiration, okay? I've sat in family for the last 4 years. The majority of the people who come in front of us without attorneys look like us, okay? And they are struggling to get through the system, and it is hard. But one of my proudest moments on the bench was when I was sitting there and the lawyers came into the room and the litigants came into the room and the court reporter was there. And one of the attorneys said, "Judge, do you see what just happened here? Can you take a moment and just take it in?" Every person, one of the litigants wasn't there, but every person in that courtroom was a Black woman, okay? And the attorney said that had never happened before. And we just took a moment to really appreciate the strides that we took to make this happen. So all of these struggles, working twice as hard, being half as appreciated, it is worth it. And do not give up, and do not let anybody tell you you can't do it.
All right, Judge Powell. Judge Powell.
I think before I got to the bench, my road to the bench prepared me a lot for this. I worked in a large law firm where I was traveling all over the state, appearing in front of many different judges. And I remember going through a particular courthouse, not in Broward County, and I got there. I was dressed in my suit with my briefcase with all my files. And I got to the security and was going through the lawyer's entrance. And I was stopped and asked, "Are you an attorney?" And I said yes. And that was not enough for the security. I had to go dig in my bag and look for my bar card to show them and to prove to them that I was an attorney for them to allow me through that line. That taught me a lot that day. I was out of Broward County, so it was not a familiar place. But that taught me that we always have to be prepared, and that, yes, like Judge Moon says, we don't have to raise our voices. We don't have to get crazy. We can respond. And that experience taught me a lot. So now on the bench, I bring that with me. I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to get crazy. And a lot of times I've experienced already people getting crazy and saying things because either they think that I didn't know, but they didn't know that I already called Judge Gillespie and got all the information I needed to handle that probate issue that came up in my county court case. And they didn't know that I already called Judge Fanistock to get all the details that I needed for the issues that came up in my family law case. I was prepared. And so when I was questioned, I was able to give them the right response. And when I left the South Satellite this year, I actually received an email from an attorney who was congratulating me and thanking me for the job that I did there in dealing with them.
Thank you. Now, one thing you got to learn from Judge Gillespie, you got to learn how to mean like he does. All right, Judge Barner, what's your struggle?
I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. I'm like the baby of the group here. When I'm sitting think about this, I'm sitting on my bench in my robe. Somebody walks in, where's the judge? I turned around and I looked and said, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at people and I'm like, and this happens. This happens not just once, twice, this happens a lot. So I know I have the same issues that all my colleagues are talking about. I'm already young, so they don't think I'm supposed to be here. You know, I'm a Black woman. They don't think I'm supposed to be here. And then I have to very slowly remind them. I learned from Judge Holmes that every new opinion comes out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and on Thursday and Friday from the Supreme Court. So I'm on top of my case law. I don't need to shepherdize anything. I am the shepherds. You know, I have learned from you, Judge Holmes. I have learned from Judge Williams the importance of being the general in that courtroom. So people understand, I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to say anything. That is our courtroom, but we're going to respect each other in our courtroom. This is not my courtroom, it's ours. So, I mean, just dealing with those issues, and again, having been identified as a defendant in court, and Judge Powell's not going to say it, but that courthouse that she's talking about, when you walk up to that building, there's a Daughter of the Confederacy standing in the front of the courthouse. There's a mural of the Civil War on the side of that building. I've had to practice in that courthouse. So those lessons have taught me how to practice here in Broward and how to come with humility and equality and just respect and dignity for everyone.
Thank you so much, Judge. Judge Evans, quickly, what's your struggle?
The angry Black man stereotype has been played out in my courtroom more times than I can remember. But the reason I always smile is because I try to shut it down quickly and quietly. And I let the fools talk if they want to talk. If they make sense, they make sense. But if they want to anger me, you're not going to get that from me. I know if I can see it coming, and I do see it coming, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of letting that happen, because I'm the fool if I allow it. And I'll echo everything that Judge Williams, Judge Barner, we all have to, we're held to a different standard. And I told him that I felt that I was held to a different standard before I even attempted to get here. But I truly believe that we are held to a different standard and we're looked at as if we are lesser than. So we have to carry ourselves as if we were twice then or 10 times then.
I hear you. As Papa Pope said, we got to work twice as hard to get half as much. All right, Judge Francois, what's your struggle?
Well, I've had the same issues as all of my colleagues, but one of the things that I have been told is that my name is too ethnic and that I can't be a judge if my last name is Francois. In fact, I had somebody tell me that I needed to change my name because I couldn't win an election with a name like Phoebe Francois. And I'm glad that I was able to prove them wrong. But you know, and I guess that's because of my Haitian heritage. So it's sad, but that's how they think.
All right, Magistrate Yves Laventure. Well, I know the struggle it took to get you as a general magistrate. So
that is indeed very true, and I am very thankful for all of the hard work that comes with that. You know, it's unfortunate we are held to a different standard, but it's almost like people are waiting for that misstep. They're baiting for that one mistake to make so they can say, ah, there it is. That's what we were looking for. You know, I need to commend each and every one of you all, because one thing that comes with these positions is patience that you have to have. I sit in probate, so I hear a lot of things from people who are either undergoing mental health issues or substance abuse issues. I've been called the N-word on the bench. I've had all types of things said about, but you know what? I don't react. I do my job. I make sure that I show up. I make sure that I'm prepared for the cases. And I give the ruling as fair and appropriate as possible, because that is my job. And you're not going to be able to look for that misstep, that mistake. And one last note, I think it's very, very important, and everybody has said it here. It's not only troubles on the bench. How each and every one of us have gotten to our position has been riddled with issues that we've had to overcome, whether it's for ourselves or, like in my circumstance, help from others to get to our position. You know, if it's a name like Phoebe Francois, if it's another situation, those can be teaching and learning experiences about what people have had to go through, so that the next person can understand the certain level of, for lack of a better term, intestinal fortitude to get through and get to where you need to be.
And last but not least, the baby magistrate, General Magistrate Woods. What's your struggle?
I think mine was when I got appointed, between when I got appointed and when I started my first day, there was some of our lighter shaded counterparts, I think, didn't appreciate the fact that Black daughter of 2 judges was appointed to the general magistrate position, despite the fact that there are white judges who have sons and daughters who are judges, or husband and wives and siblings who are judges. They overlooked the fact that I went to Georgetown University undergrad, UF law, practiced for 13 years, various legal legal areas. My experience was overlooked in, between the appointment and me sitting. Currently, my struggle is more along the lines of Judge Florence Barner, in that because I'm younger and the people who come before me either don't think I'm a magistrate or they question my knowledge based on my appearance. So that's what, along the same lines as everyone else currently.
You know, if we could all sit down and collaborate on a book, we could each give a chapter. Everything that you all said, I endured it. I think the worst thing, somebody called me the affirmative action judge. There's no affirmative action in the appointment of judges. And then I was coming in the judge's entrance and a white judge stopped me and asked, do you belong here? Do you belong back here? And after I told him who I am, I borrowed a line from my favorite movie. I may be Black, I may be ugly, but I'm here. And with that, Madam President, I turn the program back over to you.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, all of you. The NAACP works not alone, but we have many friends. And so we want you to know, each of you, that you are not alone. You have a base that stands with you. And many of them you know, and many that you don't know. And so we have a couple people that wanted to just share with you and declare their support for you. And we will start with Ms. Patricia Shaw. Jasmine, did you bring over Ms. Shaw? President Shaw of the Broward County chapter of the Florida A&M University Alumni Association. You have the floor, Ms. Shaw.
Good evening, and thank you, President Ellison, for your invitation. I am just so amazed and am so honored to be here this evening. Florida Education Mechanical University, known throughout the world as FAMU, the #1 public HBCU ranking US and World Report. We are one of 19 land grants HBCU institutions, and of course, the only university that sits on the highest hills. I greet you as the president of one of over 60 Florida Agricultural Mechanical University alumni chapters. The Broward chapter started in 1963 by the late FAMU alumni, Attorney George Allen. And we have always strived to support our Broward community leadership. And we are just so happy to see such awesome diversity representation in the Broward County Judicial Branch. We as alumni understands that a diverse community is very important in order for our students to continue to have equal opportunities to be successful and accomplish their dreams to be where you are tonight. So tonight, we salute you for your accomplishments and your courage. And we have confidence that you will continue to make that justice stays blind and all men are created equal. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President. So the rattlers are ready.
Yes, we are.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Is Jasmine, is Mr. Dixon on? Johnny Dixon. Okay. All right, we are looking for the president.
Yes, he is on, Mr. Dixon. I moved him over.
Okay. Mr. Dixon?
Oh, hold up.
Mr. Dixon is the president of the Longshoremen here in the city of Fort Lauderdale. They are fully engaged and have been supportive. There's not one request that we have asked that they have not honored when it comes to supporting diversity. He is actually out of town. They are in labor meetings, and he is wanting to get on and just to say a couple things here. Mr. Dixon, are we on? Okay, we will come back. All right, let's see if there is the president of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, President Dwayne Crisbro. Mr. President, are you on? Jasmine?
Yes, hold on.
In our day,
No.
fire.
Oh, Jesus.
Judge Frank, I don't know about that song you're singing. He don't know nothing about that. Okay. We've lost him. He's getting back on.
I guess he's getting back on.
Okay. Then while he is doing that, we will move to the pretty girls of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Please move the 85 women that are representing the chapters that are of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated over, starting with our own Dr. Rosalind Osgood. So Doc, as she is going to, Jazz is going to move the presidents of the other chapters over. I'm going to ask you to do the introductions in the order that is proper. And we will begin with you. Jasmine, are you working on bringing the other ladies on, please? Go ahead, Doc. Floor is yours.
Good evening to all of you judges. Thank you so much for your kind service and what you do. We know that the nation is better because of you. We certainly want to give a special pink and green shout out to those members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated that sit on the bench, in the person of retired Judge Mary Ward Robinson, Judge Phoebe Francois, Judge Florence Barner, Magistrate Elona Robinson Woods, and we wouldn't be the pretty girls of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated if we did not recognize the smooth, intelligent brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity.
Come on with it.
In the person of Judge Michael Robinson, our newly elected judge that we're so proud of, Judge Joyce Odom, and Judge Keithan Frank. Thank you to all of you. Certainly thank you to Ms. Marcia Ellison, the president of NAACP. I'm honored to have all 5 chapters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated represented tonight. We have Miss Andrea Knowles, who is the Connection Chair for Kappa Kappa Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and our statewide representative. We have Miss Joel McCrae, who is the president of Chi Psi Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We have Miss Lisa George, who is representing the Phenomena Upsilon Xi Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And yours truly, Dr. Rosalind Osgood, the proud president of the premier chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Zeta Rho Omega Chapter. And notice, the Pretty Girls came unified, pretty, and connected. We love you, judges, so much. We've sent our sorors, our members, gifts. We have them on the way. And we decided that we would come in first class tonight because AKAs lead. As we're leading in the White House right now with our soror as the Vice President, Madam Vice President of the United States of America, we wanted to give honor to the judges and to the NAACP tonight. We came with our own virtual background to say to you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You help us be supreme in service to all mankind. So Ross, if you could put those pinkies up and twist them 2 times as you flop your hair and salute our community today. Thank you, Madam President.
Ms. Knowles, I take it you concur?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Thank you.
George, I understand you concur with that.
Absolutely. We're all on one accord this evening.
Okay, and Ms. Reed, I assume it is unanimous?
It is unanimous. You can count me in.
Well, thank you so much. And we salute you as well. You did it big as usual, but thank you so much. The president of Alpha Phi Alpha said he is there and waiting. Jazz, do you see him?
Is that Dwayne?
Yes, yes. Please.
Okay, go on to the next one and I'll bring him right in.
Okay. That then takes us to the boss line for Omega Psi Phi fraternity. We will go with
No.
I'm sorry, I'm skipping. There's a lot. The AKAs took up so much room, so we skipped to one. All right, let's go down to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We're going to bring over the president, the POMAR, Mr. Kevin White, and my state rep, Mr. Bobby DuBose. So we have them ready. I'm waiting on my state rep. Wow,
actually, Kevin White was on.
Kevin is here. I was waiting on. I'm waiting on Mr. I'm waiting on
and
DuBose.
Bobby DuBose.
Yes. Mr. Pomar, you may begin, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. This was a phenomenal experience tonight with all the judges. Again, I'm Kevin White, Pomar of the Fort Lauderdale Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We are delighted to have supported this event tonight as we truly support diversity on the bench. The Fort Lauderdale Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi is an avid supporter of NAACP, as our chapter is a lifelong chapter. And there's my brother Bobby. And so we continue to support them.
I don't know what's going on with the new.
I got some feedback here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Bobby DuBose is on.
I'm on now. I got kicked off. So, Brother Pomar, are you finished with your remarks?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Brother DuBose.
All right. Madam President, do I have a couple of minutes to say a few things? All right. First of all, I want to say this is an excellent event. Phenomenal. Hats off to the NAACP. I'm State Representative Bobby DuBose. I'm a very, very proud life member of the NAACP. I am NAACP proud. Been a member since I was a kid. In fact, my entire household, we're all life members, including my 7-year-old Jacob. To the Black judges, you know, love you guys. What you do is so important. And so in my capacity, you know, we set policy. And a lot of times we talk about criminal justice reform. And I tell people all the time, it's more than just the policies that we set. It's the individuals that are interpreting those policies, that make those decisions that impact us. So it's just not one, that's not one part, it's not one or the other, it's both. And so what you guys do really make the difference in our community. I want to applaud you all. I want you all to know that in my capacity on so many levels, not just being elected, but just being a proud member of Broward County, I'm so very proud of you all. I will definitely always be here, not only in Tallahassee, but boots on the ground and what we're achieving. Mr. Russell, thank you very much for taking the time. It means so much for you to take the time and engage us so that folks can really see what we have here in Broward County. It's truly something special. Madam President, she puts her all into this, and she makes sure that we are all as a community supporting our Black judges, and to watch it grow. I know 11 doesn't sound like a large number, but going from 3 to 11 and knowing that the muscle that the NAACP has put behind these judges and supporting them really means a lot. So with that, again, I'll say congratulations on this event. I'll say thank you to our judges, and I guess I got to give a shout out to the Divine Nine and the love that we have for all of you. Many of you on here belong to those organizations, and as we made history nationally in the White House, we're doing it here in Broward. And I'll be like Judge Bonner, and I'll just close with a mighty Go Gators.
All righty. Do we have what, Dwayne Crisco? Jasmine?
I don't have Dwayne.
All right. Next up, while we're waiting for him, Omega Psi Phi fraternity, we should have Dr. Frank Gaines and Mr. Bruce Brown. Is Mr. Brown on?
Let me get Mr. Brown.
While we're doing that, Dr. Gaines.
Thank you, Sister Ellison. We sincerely appreciate the tremendous work you do for our community and the chance to convene with this distinguished panel of judges. On behalf of the Zebedee chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, as a life member and ardent supporter of the NAACP, we sincerely appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to be here this evening. Your work aligns directly with our voter registration, education, and mobilization initiative, Black Men Must Vote, which helped to carry people of color, particularly Black men, to unprecedented success in this last election. Then and now, our issues included criminal justice reform. The question we now focus on is, on the heels of that success, what actions follow? I think tonight is an opportunity to, again, place at the forefront, this time in the judicial arena, one of our primary concerns, equity in our legal system for people of color. We believe that diversity on the bench is critical to that equity, and declare our support for each and every one of you. Your presence here tonight makes a statement about your commitment to that equity. And on behalf of the Zebedee chapter, we stand with you to achieve that end. Also, we want to take a moment to pay homage to a history maker of our own, in light of the fact we're in Black History Month, Judge Zebedee Wright. Judge Wright is a retired Broward County judge who served the citizens of Broward County for 23 years. He stepped down from the bench, but did not fade quietly into the sunset. After seeing so many young males come through his courtroom, he began coaching and mentoring kids in 1989 because He felt the need to give them an alternative to street life by giving them an opportunity to learn about life through the fundamentals of basketball, teamwork, discipline, and sportsmanship. He touched the lives of hundreds of young men and provided a viable alternative to the harsh elements of the juvenile justice system. Judge Wright arose from the Jim Crow South to become the first African-American male graduate of the Florida State University College of Law in 1971. He holds a bachelor's degree from Florida A&M and attended the University of Louisville and Broward Junior College. He was a practicing attorney from 1971 to 1982 and became a Broward County judge, 17th Judicial Court from 1982 until he retired. He wrote the Public Defender's Handbook for Tallahassee, Florida, devised many successful political campaigns, and is acknowledged as a pioneer and has been honored by the NAACP for outstanding service and achievement. Judge Wright was initiated into the Upsilon Psi chapter of Omega Psi Phi in 1955 at Florida A&M and has served our organization for over 65 years. He's a pioneer for justice and equity, a role model and an example for all to follow. And for that, we honor Judge Zebedee Wright this evening. So again, I thank you, Sister Ellison, for your gracious invitation and the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, sir. For the Bosselors, Bruce Brown.
Good evening, Madam President, and thank you for the invitation. I come to you in the name of the Brothers of the Mighty Untitled Chapter in Pompano Beach of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, where friendship is essential to the soul. And this has been like, homecoming week, sitting and listening to folks that I've known for a very, very long time. I currently serve as the boss of Feta Nu, but I also serve as Assistant United States Attorney. And it was Judge Elona Holmes who made the call from her chambers that got me this job some 23 years ago. Those days of being in county court with Judge Robinson, Judge Wright, and Judge Carol Taylor. I remember when Judge Holmes came and just took the courthouse by storm. Michael Robinson was defense attorney back then, wreaking havoc everywhere he could. Ken Gillespie had hair back then, country boy from Crescent City, Florida, and he would tell us that every chance he got. I remember Phoebe Francois, the young bully they brought to the PD's office, who wasn't taking any of our stuff over at the state attorney's office. And then we were baby prosecutors together, me and Stephanie Moon. She was in Palm Beach and I was at the Broward State Attorney's office, and just kind of grew up together, doing the things that we do. And so I'm just so blessed to have been here tonight. Like my brother Gaines just said, we stand with you. We support you. We understand how important diversity is. And we just understand that what you do is so important to our community. We honor and love you for what you do. We've heard a lot about, I think I heard Mr. Robinson singing back there, something about Alpha Phi Alpha. I don't know what he was over there talking about, but the Trailblazers here, obviously we share in that as well. TJ Reddick, who our Bar Association is named after, is a member of Omega, and obviously Judge Zebedee Wright is too. So we've played a part and we'll continue to do so. Please keep doing what you're doing. It is so important for our young people to be able to see you doing what you do, to know that there's nothing they can't do. So on behalf of the brothers from Pompano Beach, thank you for what you do. We love you, and thank you, Madam President, for having us tonight.
Madam President, Dwayne is on.
Yes, Mr. President, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Mr. Cicero.
Greetings. Thank you for having us this evening. Thank you for a wonderful program. As usual, year after year, it's always a pleasure to be a part, to witness all this greatness. Greetings to all of our distinguished honorees, the Broward chapter of the NAACP, our Divine Nine brothers and sisters, and all those watching near and far. In the name of our illustrious jewels and the men of the Zeta Alpha Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and Alphas Worldwide, we're honored to spend this evening with you. My name is again Dwayne Cicero, president of the Zeta Alpha Lambda chapter. This evening could not be more fitting as we gather to honor our Black judges, and approach the end of Black History Month, know that we will continue to celebrate all 365 days of every year. I would be remiss not to remind us that this moment is in fact Black history. There are so many firsts among us this evening, and they should all and will continue to be celebrated. To all of our Black judges, thank you for your ambition, your perseverance, your tact, your tenacity, and your influence. Be reminded that eyes are always watching wherever you go, and continue to make history. A lot can be said about a person who can lead without always being in the front. The three brothers I'm about to mention are capable of doing just that. Zeta Alpha Lambda has had and seen many Broward County greats since 1954. Brothers W. George Allen, Riley Rawls, and Alfonso Giles, to name a few. They too were history makers. Brothers Judge Michael Robinson, Keithan Frink, and George Odom have all led from behind, are history makers and will continue to do so. They are also alpha men and members of the Zeta Alpha Lambda chapter. I know their destiny to break barriers with or without, I know it was in their destiny to break barriers with or without Alpha, but I'm certain Alpha has enhanced the impact they have and will continue to make. Thank you, brothers, for your service, for your example, and for your tutelage. We're privileged to call you brothers. Thank you to the rest of the Black judges. The diversity is unmatched. From here, we can only go up. As we mentioned, we started with 3, we're now at 11. The upward trajectory is there and we'll continue to do just that. So thank you all. Have a good evening.
A5.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon said he is trying to unmute. Jazz, can you unmute his microphone?
Okay.
Mr. Dixon?
Okay. Go on to the next ones and I will get him started.
Okay, he said he's speaking now, so something's going on. The next.
So he
work it out with him, please.
Okay.
And we will move on to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And we will start with, I believe I'm told that the correct order will be Broward County Alumni Chapter. And who is the representative?
Greetings, I'm the representative, Valerie Harley Gardner.
Yeah.
I'm the vice president of the Broward County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I stand this evening representing our fantastic chapter president, Tracy Barneswell. First of all, happy Founders Day to our largest and most recognized civil rights organization, the NAACP. It continues to be the extreme pleasure of the Broward County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated to work in a collaborative way with the NAACP Broward branch as we connect to work for social justice and on issues of social reform. This evening, I must say that I am humbled to be present this evening to celebrate and give honor to and hear from our amazing panel of Black judges, all active or retired, and our Black magistrates. This has truly been an awesome experience for me personally this evening to hear your accomplishments and all of your backstories. Please know that all of your stories have provided me with inspiration and information to share with our rising Black scholars here in the Broward County Public School System as we continue to celebrate Black History Month and on Monday, Women's History Month. Thank you to all of our judges for everything that you continue to do in your very excellent way in service to the community of Broward County.
You can't get up.
I believe I am next. I will just take the floor. That's what Deltas do.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call your name. Go right ahead. Madam President.
Thank you so much. President Ellison, fantastic job with this program. I have had the distinct honor of attending it a couple of years in a row, and I'm just humbled every time that I am a part of this program. I know my ancestors are rejoicing with what's great, fabulous talent we have, a great way to end our Black History Month. So I want to thank all of the judges for all of the fantastic work that you do. I have the distinct honor of hosting two of these judges in my chapter, Judge Elona Holmes and Sarah Stephanie Moon. I am so proud of them. And if you know Judge Holmes, it is not easy being her president, but God gives me grace for such a time as this. I just want to thank you all for all that you do to keep moving us along. And I'm going to say, go FAMU, my olive in the house. I love all of you. Have a fantastic day.
The olive in the house.
And next, we have President Kim Gaines from the South County chapter. Madam President.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters. This is always a fabulous event each and every year that we attend this event. I am so thankful. Sorry about that. I'm so thankful to each and every one of you for your service to our community. A special shout out to all of my Divine Nine brothers and sisters. A very special shout out to my sorors. And I just look back on when I first became the president, we only had 6 judges of color. And I am just so thankful to see all of you today. And I'm just so happy to see how we've grown. Continue to serve, continue to be a guiding light as we are in this period in our lives right now where we are dealing with all of the social unrest and all of the justice or injustice that is going on in our community. I just thank you, each and every one of you, for your service, for making this such an outstanding event. And of course, to Madam President Ellis, thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to share with us and let us know what is going on in our county. And I'm so glad that we are just increasing the ranks, increasing the numbers, because we know that's the real way that we're going to get justice, is when we have people who really understand who we are and what we are, and know that it's not always our fault, even though they always make it seem like it's our fault. But anyway, again, thank you for your service. Thank you again to all of you. And yes, we stand here with everyone in solidarity for diversity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Jasmine, do we have Mr. Mark Johnson from Phi Beta Sigma?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. Mark? And what about Miss Anita Fain from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated?
Yes.
Mark?
If she can, Ms. Fain can unmute herself.
Okay, what about Mark?
If Mark can unmute himself as well.
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Fain, while we wait for Mark to figure it out.
Okay. Thank you. First and foremost, I thank President Marsha Ellison for putting together this evening with the Black judges. This has been an inspiration. And because most of our Divine Nine sponsor youth organizations, because this meeting is recorded, I would hope that we could share this recording with our young people, because they would be truly inspired by what you spoke about tonight. To Mr. Russell, thank you for setting the stage this evening. We've not met. In fact, my picture's not up. I don't know why, but that's all right. It's all good. I'm pretty. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. No, but thank you for setting the tone this evening for this event. And thank you for acknowledging the work of Elijah Williams. We jokingly say that we're related. We are related by marriage through my Fain lineage. And I'd also like to acknowledge my sister in Linkdom, Judge Stephanie Moon. It's a pleasure to see you tonight, and it was great to see you move to that position that you were so inspired to go to. On behalf of our president, Bridget Howard, and the finer women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We provide you with our greatest support. In fact, over this last election season, the national president, Valerie Hollingsworth, established a partnership with the NAACP through the NAACP Civic Engagement Program. And through that program, we volunteered countless hours of making phone calls, I was unmuted. Are you okay now?
Yes, you're fine.
Okay. To use their power at the ballot box. But we know that it's not enough to vote in this election cycle, and we must continue to organize Black voters. And we, the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, commit to continuing to work with the NAACP and our other Greek lettered organizations to continue to support our Black judges, because we know by electing more judges of color, we shrink the disparity gap in our judicial system. Once again, thank you, Marsha Ellison, for hosting this event. And we look forward to not only working with you in the NAACP, but also our brothers and sisters in the Greek. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Johnson.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark William Johnson. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the Gamma Gamma Sigma chapter. And I bring greetings to you on behalf of our chapter president, Brother Anthony Alexander, as well as our state director, Brother Reuben Grant. I am the social action chairman for our chapter. I'm also the state secretary for the state of Florida, and I was the Vote 2020 chairman for the state of Florida last year. And the reason why I bring that up is because Phi Beta Sigma has been an integral part and continues to be an integral part of mobilizing the vote in our communities and ensuring that we have success across the state, but especially in Broward County. And as I look at this panel and see all of your faces, especially those who were elected in the last election last year, it warms my heart to see you all there, because it represents the fruits of our labors and those of the other organizations that work to mobilize the vote in our communities. So on behalf of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, we support you, we salute you, and to coin a phrase from our honorable brother, John Lewis, we are ready to get into good trouble on your behalf. So if you call us, we'll be there. Now, we may not have a member of Phi Beta Sigma amongst your ranks. Trust me when I say the spirit of Phi Beta Sigma is and always will be right there with you in those courtrooms. So may God bless you and may God keep you. And thank you for all that you do and will continue to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson and Phi Beta Sigma, and also Ms. Fane Taylor and Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And last but certainly not least, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. We have our own life member, Mr. Garland Carmichael.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, your honors. It's an honor for us to be here. I represent Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Lambda Omega chapter, grad chapter. How you doing, Judge Williams? Good to see you. Going through and listening to the problems that the judges were having in courtrooms, I can go along with that, because I've been mistaken for a suspect a couple of times in the courtroom also. So I, with a shirt and a tie, suit and a tie, and the only difference could be that I don't look like them. So we understand each other. Iota Phi Theta was built, became prominent in the middle of the civil rights struggle in 1963 with the murder of Medgar Evers in his driveway, the March on Washington, Bull Connors using dogs to bite children. So we applaud you, judges. We are directly behind you. Whatever you need, whatever is needed to pull you forward. We believe in diversity on the bench, most definitely. And I thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. One other thing, the Divine Nine wouldn't be the Divine Nine without Iota Phi Theta. So thank you, Madam President. Appreciate you. Appreciate you allowing us to be here.
Thank you so much. So, judges, you got support. You are not alone. And Mr. Chairman, we will have 4 judges up next year. The word has been sent that they intend to come for some of our judges, but they're gonna have to bring it because that's not gonna happen. We're gonna make sure that it's not gonna happen. And I say that certainly only because it's true. And you know, we have many, many friends, and you have many friends in this county, and we won't let you down. Diversity on the bench is here, beginning, but we're gonna get these, keep these, and get some more. And anybody could get it, just so you know. And with that, Mr. Chairman, do you have any closing remarks?
This was a fantastic program. Congratulations to everyone involved. And thank you for all your participation as part of NAACP. Have a wonderful night.
Madam President.
Yes, sir. Jasmine, will you bring over?
Say that one more time.
Bring Minister Edwards over.
Madam President.
Representative.
Can you name those 4 judges for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Judge Florence Taylor Barner. Judge Cal LeVar Evans. Judge Ken Gillespie. Judge Elijah Williams. It's time. So the election as we see it is right now. The work has already begun. And so I will continue to touch bases with each of you. And so when you see me calling, you know what I'm calling for. Because we're ready to work. The word has been given. And so we said, you know, you all gonna come for them. Come on, it's all right. This ain't our first rodeo. And you know, I'm told that they're using Judge Odom as an excuse, but they've come for our judges before. So this ain't the first time. Jasmine, do we have minister?
Madam President, yes, I did bring her on, and I'm trying to get Mr. Brown back in.
The who?
Mr. Johnny Brown.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I'm fine.
Mr. President Dixon sends his regards. And want you all to know that the longshoremen support diversity. No question at all. If you need him, he's there. And with that, we're gonna ask our religious affairs chair.
This time I want to recognize Wakanda.
Mr. Edwards. And I don't know, she's drinking out of this mug that she's so thirsty. Apparently she's drinking out this mug that keeps going up there and wearing this green. I'm not sure where we're going, but Minister Edwards.
It's quite all right. Good evening, everyone, to Madam President, to Mr. Russell, and to each of you in your respective places. We are certainly honored on tonight to have this opportunity to lift up those who sit in positions of authority in our judicial branch. But now that we are drawing to an end, I ask that you would gather in with us and let us go to the Lord in prayer. Most gracious, eternal God and Father, we thank you for this opportunity tonight to celebrate, oh God, the work of the Black judges in Broward County. Father, we thank you for the work of the trailblazers, the ones, oh God, who stood in the gap and didn't allow the door to close behind them. We pray now, Father, that as they sit in positions of authority, that you would grant them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Father, we realize that you have called us all in your word to the work of justice. Now, God, as they seek to fulfill their position in this great body of work, we ask that you would be with them, that you would grant them divine providence, O Lord. We ask, Father, that you would continue to strengthen, lead, and guide the NAACP. We pray, Father, for every person and for the work of the Divine Nine and all other associates of this great organization. Father, we ask you to bless every household that is on tonight's Zoom call. We pray, God, that you would be with us, even in the midst of times such as these. We're grateful tonight, and as we prepare to depart from this call, but never from your presence, we ask, God, that you would continue to be the wind beneath our wings. Blow upon us now, Father, in the direction you would have us to go. In the precious name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. And on behalf of the NAACP, good night. Yes, we see your mug, Minister. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Judges.
Great job. Great job. Be safe.
And everyone, thank you for your thing.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Great job. Fantastic.
Great job.
Good night. Good night.
Great job.
Wonderful job. Great job. Wonderful event. Great job.
Way to go, Bruce. Good seeing you, man.
What's going on, Mr. Robinson? The first family.
It's been a while, man.
The first family.
Thanks, Roz. Dr. Osgood. All right. President Ellison, you bad.
Gillespie.
Woman.
Yeah. Hey, Judge Holmes, you did a great job as MC.
Where's Judge Holmes? I
Great
can't see
job, Judge Holmes.
everybody. Judge Holmes. Judge Holmes.
Okay, there you go. All right, let me
Judge Holmes had to put on her
Good
hat.
job, President Ellison. Very good job. Thank you so much.
They try to work you to
Thank you,
death,
Jasmine, for
Jasmine.
doing what you do.
Where your check, girl? My gracious.
I hear you, Mike.
Excellent job.
Okay. Your AK is looking good.
Excellent job by everybody.
Excellent job. Way to go, President.
Absolutely.
Go, Bobby. Go home, Bobby.